It's 7 a.m. here. Good morning and welcome to News at 7. I am David Obokwasile. Our headlines this morning: Governor Obiano restates commitment towards upgrading infrastructural facilities in the commercial city of Onitsha. European Union donates cold store facilities to Anambra State. Military court-martial sentences 2 soldiers to 10 years in prison for abduction. And on the foreign scene, we'll bring you that Russia and India is set to sign a deal on delivering of multi-billion-dollar missile system. We begin from Onitsha, where, in keeping with his administration's resolve to transform the outlook of Onitsha, Governor Willie Obiano has inaugurated the newly remodeled DMGS roundabout Onitsha. Government House correspondent Keneshko Former, who joined the governor, reports that he also switched on street lights installed by his administration along Old Market Road by Ajasa Road, Onitsha. His report is here.
The project, which was designed and executed by the Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Mike Okonkwo, also include the recovery of a burnt filling station located near the roundabout where trees will be planted. It was observed that the roundabout has been beautified with 5 gigantic elephant tusk-like sculpture works and a statue of former president who hails from Onitsha, late Dr. Anambra, erected with colorful lights adorning the whole area, making it a delight to behold both in the day and at night. Governor Obiano was accompanied to the function by his wife, Chief Mrs. Ebelechukwu, former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, top state government functionaries, among others. Inaugurating the project, Governor Obiano said his government is committed to engendering the transformation that will bring out the aesthetics of Onitsha. He said the ancient city with its very rich cultural heritage deserves monuments that will showcase the beauty, adding that the idea behind the project is to celebrate Onitsha, the legend of Zik, and the unity of Igbo nation. On the significance of the 4 elephant tusk-like sculpture works, joined with an aka, Governor Obiano said they represent the 5 states of the southeast, explaining though they are of unequal shapes and sizes, their strength lies in their unity.
This is part of our independence celebration to honor Dr. Anambra and give the befitting place where he will rest. The 5 although no one there back, or the 5 states in the southeast.
The governor also proceeded to switch on the street lights along Old Market Road by Ajasa Street, Onitsha, where he was greeted by a tumultuous applause from the inhabitants whose area has been lit by the lights. Addressing the people, Governor Obiano said the Operation Light Up Anambra is going on and will extend to all nooks and crannies of the state. He urged residents of the area to endeavor to protect the facilities and shun indiscriminate dumping of refuse in drainages and street trading, assuring that his government is committed to making their environment more habitable.
In this environment, for your information, I spent over 25 years of my life living around here, and I'm bringing light to you once more. So let there be light. Thank you.
After the switching on of the lights, Governor Obiano proceeded to inspect the whole length where it covered. From Onitsha, I am Keneshko Former, reporting for ABS News.
The European Union has donated a fully equipped cold store to the Anambra State government through the state's primary health care development agency. The cold store, built at Anakwaya Melum Council headquarters, is one of the intervention projects by the European body in the state to enhance storage of immunization vaccines, especially at the grassroots. Correspondent Daniel Ezigwe, who covered the handover of the facility, reports that the donor called for adequate protection and maintenance of the project by the benefiting community. His report.
Restating the significance of the project to the healthcare demands of the community, the Executive Secretary, Anambra State Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Chioma Ezenyemulu, who represented the wife of the governor, Chief Mrs. Ebelechukwu Obiano, said the ultra-modern facility will improve immunization coverage and serve the not too easy to access areas of Ayamelum and beyond. She noted that the state has remained polio-free for 10 years, commending the present administration for making the state's health sector responsive to the health needs of the people.
I say that routine immunization has never had it so good in the state with all these interventions. We also appreciate our other partners in the state, such as UNICEF, WHO, the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, and our immunization team at state and LGA levels. With our concerted efforts, Anambra State won the first position in immunization in the nation this year.
The EU signed team leader, Dr. Ibrahim Issa, who said the handover was only provisional and will become permanent after 1 year of satisfactory comprehensive maintenance and supervision, called for proper maintenance of the structure. Dr. Issa also said that the EU science partnership with Anambra State remained exceptional, given the state's unbeatable achievements in the areas of immunization coverage and childcare support, and noted that the state is leading in the EU intervention coverage in Nigeria with a total of over 271 million naira spent on projects in the state so far.
This figure is the highest out of the 23 states and FCT we have covered. Anambra has the highest in terms of the value of the interventions we have done. And again, I believe it's in recognition of the fact that the state is doing very well.
The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Joe Akabike, represented by the Acting Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. John Ndube, said that routine immunization remains one of the cardinal and cost-effective health intervention strategies, noting that the project is distinct, having been cited where it will have the most significant impact. Earlier in his opening address, the Transition Committee Chairman of Ayamelin Council Area, Honorable Kenneth Okoro, said the recognition of the area with the unique project would yield the desired result and applauded the EU for the intervention. The contractor of the work, Chief Joel Udoka, attributed the successful completion of the project to harmonious supports, assuring of its durability. Also at the handover were the representative of the Minister of Budget and National Planning, the supervisory unit of the EU projects in Nigeria, Mrs. Joy Ofokansi, traditional rulers, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Information and Public Enlightenment, Mrs. Obegelia Kumade, and other stakeholders. The keys to the building were later handed over to the Executive Secretary of ASPHCDA, Dr. Ezenyimulu, by the EU signed team leader, after which they were shown around the structure by the construction team. From Anako, Ayamelin Council Headquarters, Daniel Ezigwe, reporting for ABS News.
Comrade Roy Epunifa of the Anambra Broadcasting Service has won the Actors Guild of Nigeria Southeast Zone Best Broadcaster Award for 2018. Mr. Epunifa, with more than 25 years' experience in journalism and broadcasting, is the co-host of ABS Radio 88.5 FM breakfast show Heartbeat at Dawn and Anambra Talks. He's also the presenter and producer of ABS TV political program Inside Politics and an actor of repute. The report. While presenting the award to the managing director of ABS, Nze Uchenwora, Mr. Epunifa dedicated the award to God and said that the new digital studios provided by the Governor Willie Obiano government has given the organization a platform to meet 21st century demands in broadcasting and keep up with the best international practices. He said he is now motivated to work harder towards the growth and development of the organization.
And I want to use this medium to congratulate congratulate our Governor Apokwedike Global, who has given us the platform, who has digitized ABS, who has created the much needed enabling environment for creativity to thrive. You may have the best of talents, but whereby you don't have the enabling environment to showcase that talent. Definitely the talent remains latent.
Receiving the award, Nzenwora, who was elated by the accolade, enumerated some of the recent awards received by the establishment to include Best FM Station Southeast Zone 2017, Dame Prize for Documentary Nigeria in 2016, won by Ifyo Nachukwu, and the USAID Best Radio Documentary Prize in Malaria Prevention, won by Noenwo Koye, noting that such awards will further motivate the organization to advance to enviable heights.
I think it's not surprising because you are continuing in that legacy of excellence that the staff of ABS have exhibited in the past. And of course, ABS has won South in the FM station, best Southeast FM station of the year. You know, such awards have been coming in the past. So I'm very, very happy that also, you know, you are continuing along that path. And I have to say, congratulations.
Another staff of the ABS, Mr. Ezo Nwunji, in his reaction said he was excited and stated that this is more than applause for efforts of both the government and the management of the ABS, led by Uche Nwora, in reshaping the organization to meet international standards.
Congratulations, boy, and of course it is an enabler. It is also a lesson to all of us that we should go out there and win our own awards. ABS has produced a lot of personalities in broadcasting, so it is a well-deserved award for Royal Eagle. Congratulations to you. Thank you very much.
In Oka, this is David Obokwase reporting for ABS News. The federal government has been urged to build modern and bigger dams across the country as part of measures to provide enduring solution to incessant flooding across the country. Speaking to journalists on present devastation of some parts of the state and communities by flood, the state vice chairman of the Nigerian Red Cross Society, Professor Peter Kachi, said this would help contain excess water from heavy rains and overflow from existing dams both in the country and from neighboring countries like Cameroon. Paul Ezoke has the report.
Professor Kachi said the country should work towards proactive defenses against flood instead of relying solely on emergency interventions, as flood can occur anytime without warning and with accelerated speed that could result to huge socioeconomic consequences. He explained that such dams should be spread to various parts of the country and linked properly to take up excess water from rivers, where there should be proper urban planning with adequate drainage systems for all road infrastructure terminated at the right discharge points, as well as friendly disposition towards the environment to reduce adverse effects of climate change. Professor Kachi lamented that persistent flooding in the country has resulted to socioeconomic loss to communities and individuals affected, including loss of human lives, destruction of property, farmlands, crops, livestock, disruption of socioeconomic activities, health challenges, as well as psychological trauma of individuals and families, among others. He commended Governor Willie Obiano and Deputy Governor Nkem Okeke for building the necessary capacity and mobilizing adequate manpower and material resources to mitigate the effects of flooding across the state, as well as being personally involved in the various intervention measures, and urged individuals and groups to complement efforts of the governor towards tackling the menace. Also speaking, a community leader in Ogbaru, Chief Victor Agole, said buildings, farmlands, schools, health centers, hospitals, markets, and other social facilities have been submerged by flood in most communities in the area. Chief Agole called on the federal government to increase interventions to the state as the number of communities and people affected by flood are increasing daily. In Oka, Paul Ezoke, ABS News.
The need for effective participation of the youth in governance was stressed at the town hall meeting held in Oka by Youth Initiative for Advocacy, Growth and Advancement, IAGA. Correspondent Valentine Mbadoa brings more details.
Address on the occasion, the Anambra State Coordinator, Deborah Ezago, identified consensus candidacy and high cost of nomination forms as threats to the participation of youth in leadership, noting that it reflects lack of respect for democratic principles and norms. Ms. Ezago advised that parties should uphold the principles of transparency and accountability in the conduct of primary elections and urged the youth to step out and effect the desired change so as to create the society desired by all.
The town hall meeting is on promoting youth inclusiveness and governance for development, and it is to engage youth and engage political parties. You know, this Not Too Young to Run bill that has just been signed, it's not just enough to sign the Not Too Young to Run bill. We also want to see it put to action.
Also speaking, one of the resource persons at the event, Mr. Nonso Anene, noted that youths are truly agents of development and called on them to start making positive contributions within their immediate environment.
Youth inclusiveness in governance is very important, you know, but being that we are in Nigeria where the sincerity about that youth inclusiveness is yet to be seen. So the government, while we are pushing and advising them to give opportunities for youth inclusiveness in governance. We are also praying and encouraging the youths to get involved in their own smallest capacity.
Some of the participants, including the director of ABS Film Academy, Mr. Pascal Osubo, Ifeoma Okoli, and Jidobi Obo, amongst others, appreciated the organizers of the program and called on youth to start vying for elective positions. They further advised that leaders should create an enabling environment that will accommodate the youth so as to prepare and fortify them physically, psychologically, and otherwise.
The movement is wonderful, and I encourage people who have that dream to go into it, to be part of it. I will be part of it, and seek mentorship from people that have done great works in ruling or leadership.
In Oka, Valentine Mbadoga reporting for ABS News.
The ongoing court-martial of soldiers of Operation Lafia Dole as violations of human rights in the theater has sent 2 soldiers to 10 years imprisonment. The president of the General Court-Martial 7th Division Nigeria Army, Brigadier General Olusegun Adesina, while delivering judgment on Wednesday, said the action of the soldiers were unlawful and against the ethics of the armed forces. The 2 soldiers were charged for abduction and forceful collection of money from innocent victims amounting to the sum of 1 million naira. Brigadier General Adesina said the accused were standing trial for 3-count charges, including abduction of Alhaji Hassan on the 19th November 2017 at his residence in Ruwan, Chamfi area of Maiduguri to unknown location, forceful demand and reception of the money of 1 million naira after he was threatened as Boko Haram sponsor. The soldiers confessed committing the offense. The soldiers further narrated that they evaded the victim's house with a Honda 1998 model and dragged the victim out and forcefully took him to railway area of Maiduguri, where he was threatened and tagged as Boko Haram sponsor and subsequently demanded 3 million naira. On business news this morning, the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation NBIC says it has recovered 28.84 billion naira from debtors of failed banks. The managing director, NDIC Umaru Ibrahim, said this at the corporation's special day at the ongoing Abuja International Trade Fair on Tuesday. Giving further analysis of the recovered debts, Ibrahim said 21.85 billion naira was realized from the sale of fiscal assets of the failed banks. According to him, the status of the recovery was as of December 31, 2017, adding that the corporation had, as of the date, paid 11.5 billion naira to depositors, creditors, shareholders, and other stakeholders of the closed failed banks. The NDIC boss said the corporation was implementing the National Financial Inclusion Strategy by adopting various public awareness activities to achieve its purpose. According to him, the NDIC has engaged in several activities to achieve the goal, including World Savings Day, financial literacy for youths in secondary schools, TV and radio jingles and workshops for stakeholders. 4 people have been arrested for allegedly burglarizing the homes of celebrities, including singer Rihanna and baseball star Yasser Puig, according to Los Angeles police. Authorities said they believe the suspects are part of the larger ring that specializes in breaking into the homes of athletes, actors, and Hollywood film producers for theft. The home of basketball star LeBron James appeared on a list of dwellings that was seized by police and appeared to name future targets for robbery. The homes of actors Viola Davis and Matt Damon were also on the list. The suspects are 3 teens, 2 aged 19 and 18, 2 aged 19 and 1 18, and the 34-year-old mother of one of them. We move on to football, to foreign scene now, where Russia and India are to sign a deal worth more than $5 billion on the delivery of Russian S-400 missile systems to New Delhi, according to the Kremlin. Russian President Vladimir Putin will oversee the agreement during his trip to India this week, top Kremlin aide Yuri Yuskafov said. Moscow has been negotiating to sell the S-400 long-range surface-to-air missiles to India for months. The sale has irked the United States, India's defense partner, which has wanted to win India off Russian technology. The U.S. has imposed sanctions on Russia for its annexation of the Ukrainian peninsula of Crimea, which means any country that engages in defense or intelligence sharing with Russia could also be subject to sanctions. A senior Pentagon official said in August that sanctions against India would come under consideration of its purchase if the purchase goes through. India has signaled it will ask Washington for a special waiver from sanctions, though a U.S. official last week said there is no guarantee it will do so. The S-400 missile system is a state-of-the-art weapons platform with a maximum range of 400 kilometers, considered one of the best defense systems in existence. The acquisition of the S-400 system would be the latest in a long series of India defense purchases, as the country has previously bought combat planes, ships, and submarines from Russia. India is not the only country buying the air defense systems from Russia. Other countries such as China, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar have also bought or are planning to buy the anti-aircraft missile weapon. And on sports now, Deontay Wilder has branded fellow world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua a coward for evading him and opted to defend his belts against Alexander Povkin last month. Wilder and Joshua have been unable to agree to a blockbuster fight, and the World Boxing Council heavyweight WBC champion, who will lock horns with Tyson Fury on December 1 at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, took aim at the WBA, WBO, IBF, and IBO world title holder, insisting the former Olympic champion and his team are liars. Meanwhile, Joshua, who knocked out Russia's Alexander Povkin in round 7 of their world title fight at Wembley, London last month, has repeatedly stressed he wants his next fight to be against his fellow undefeated champion, Wilder, who holds the WBC version of the heavyweight title. Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, however, has stated that an offer will be made to Wilder's camp in the coming days ahead of his next bout at Wembley on April 13. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging on to our website, www.absradiotv.com. Like us at Facebook at www.facebook.com/absradiotv. Follow us on Twitter at ABS Radio TV. And that is the news. Before we go, the main points again. Governor Obiano has restated commitment towards upgrading infrastructural facilities in the commercial city of Onitsha. European Union has donated cold store facilities to Anambra State. Military court-martial has sentenced 2 soldiers to 10 years in prison for abduction. Russia and India have concluded plans to sign a deal on delivering of multi-billion-dollar missile system. And that is the news. On behalf of the whole team, we thank you for joining us this morning. Good morning, Anambra. Continues after now.